Hey there, and welcome to Hobo with Wood. About time to get a haircut. So I'm not in the shop tonight. I am in the air conditioning and I need a haircut. The shop is just too hot. When you're working with the laser engravers and you need all that ventilation going on, uh, it's a tough thing to deal with when you're in the heat in the south. Uh, I'm gonna put a hat on because my hair is bothering me. I don't know if it's bothering you. Uh, I'm gonna put on, and if this offends anybody, tough. This is my this is my autographed hat by Mr. John Schneider when I was visiting John Schneider Studios down in Louisiana. Uh, but we digress again. Tonight I'm going to work with designing a pet feeder box. And while I'm designing the pet feeder box is going to also have its own stand so it can be elevated so the pet's not having to reach over as far. But I'm going to optimize my cuts, minimizing my waste, making sure I'm cutting as efficiently as possible, but also when there's waste that can't be avoided, I'm also going to be creating earrings. What you say? You heard me. I'm going to be cutting out what would be waste is going to be earrings and not just waste. So we can capitalize on as much materials as possible and be as efficient as possible with our time and material. Never lost anybody yet. So I have worked with this site. I'm sure you guys, anybody in laser engraving has probably seen this, boxy.py. I've used it for a few different things. I like their boxes with flex. These are really neat. I've worked with a couple of different living hinges, modified them a couple of different ways. I'm actually working on a design with a that's actually a lady's clutch. I've got a few of them sold, but I've got to get the design down pat. But I'm not going to use boxes.py this time. I am using Maker. What is it? MakerCase. I've played with it just for a minute. But MakerCase is almost it's super elementary, and here I'm going to MakerCase and selected their basic box, and I'm back and forth between millimeters and inches. But with this MakerCase, I'm going to actually be building two different boxes, but utilizing different pieces of the boxes to create the overall project. You know, a house is a house is a house. It's four walls and a roof, but you can have a house that's $80,000, and you can have a house that's $1.4 million. So what you do with those four walls and a roof that really add value to it. So here I'm going to create my first basic box. This is going to be my pet stand, or the pet box, the box that holds the pet bowls. And I've done a little calculating prior to starting this up, and I work with a 330 width. On theirs, I'm using 76.2 height and a depth of 165 millimeters. These are my outside measurements. I'm working with a custom thickness of 4.5 millimeters. That is the thickness of the material that I have that I'm working with. It is a closed box, and here, you just drag to rotate and scroll to zoom. So this lets you see the box you're building, which I really like. Boxes.py doesn't offer that. I want finger joints, and I want, this is really nice. You have the option here, this sliding bar, to change your finger sizes. And you can see in real time what's happening here. And I'm going more for a look as much as I am strength. I don't want to have a little bitty partial finger over here on the end that's weak and prone to being broke off. I mean, that actually doesn't look too bad. Everything looks pretty uniform there, just stopping and pausing and looking at it. Actually, I like that pretty good. That looks pretty good, pretty uniform. Just fell into that. That's what I like about this sliding bar here. You can see it in real time what's going on. All right, so I'm going to leave that as is, and we're going to just click on our download box plans. And here, once you click on download, you have a couple more options. You can opt to have the labels disabled, and I'm not going to be using all of the parts as labeled, but we're going to leave the labels in there for now so you can see what you have to do to get rid of them if you end up doing them. Line formatting, your cut width. Now, I'm using the xTool D1, and it's advertised as having a 0.08 cut line. And the red cut color is for me. That's usually the layer I use for my cut. All right. Kerf, I don't use any kerf for these projects. Kerf is another video. If you're not familiar with it, it can come in handy when doing certain types of projects. For this project, though, no kerf. All right, so labels. Good, good, good. All right, now I'm going to download as a SVG. And shows there in my downloads as just box SVG. Now I am going to rename this and move this. What I do wrong? Go back. Downloads. All right, there we go. All right, I want to rename it. Get out of my way. There we go. This is going to be pet box top. And we're going to move it to what's going on with my computer? Move it to the desktop. All right. So that's pet box top, and we moved it to the desktop. All right. Now, while we're in here at MakerCase, I'm going to go ahead and create what is going to be the lower part, or what I need for the lower part to make the base and the box, the base of the box and the legs. So let's close this. We're going to go back up here. All right. Now, in order to create my stand, the legs, I'm going to go with a little bit larger dimension. One design, I was going to bring the legs in underneath the box, but I was concerned about any being top heavy or any situation, so I've decided we're going to bring them outboard. So I'm going to go with a 370 millimeter width. Height. Now this is the height of the legs, the stand, and I'm going with 155 millimeters and depth of 205, and staying with the same material. Now this, because this is going to be the stand, zoom out a little bit. There we go. And with the way I'm designing this, and you'll understand it better once you see it as it comes together, I don't want these fingers so small. I want these fingers to have some meat to them, some substance, so that they're not as easy to break or break off. So I'm going to bring these up. That looks pretty good. And what I'm looking for again is I don't want any oddball size fingers at the end of my pieces that are prone to breaking whenever I assemble the box. And I'm wanting some meat on these fingers, and that looks good. That looks good. All right. Download the box plans. Again, we're going to leave all the labels on just for this video. Normally, I'd probably cut them off. Line formatting stayed the same. I'm at 0.08 and no kerf. All right. Download the SVG. I don't want to open the file. I'm going to open it anyway. All right, go back. Go to my downloads. I don't know why I'm having a hard time with that night. It might be the Jack Daniels. All right, rename. This is going to be Pet Stand. And we're going to move it to the desktop. Move to desktop. Okay, done. All right, now I've created the blueprints or the designs for the basic boxes. Did I tell you that was Jack Daniels Sinatra Select? If anybody's involved with Jack Daniels and you want to say howdy, howdy. All right, now let's open up our LightBurn. I may have been calling LaserBurn. I use the xTool and I use their basic software. I don't like it very much, but for a quick burn on a flask or something, it's all right. But not LaserBurn. LightBurn is my choice of software for designing. All right, let's import these files. This is Pet Box Top. Isn't that what we said? And then Pet Stand, open. Yep. All right, there's one. And let's zoom out and move this over. And now let's import Pet Stand. And move this over. All right, so we have two boxes on our, what is that, a work bed. It's larger than our work bed, quite a bit larger than our work bed, which is why we're going to make earrings out of all these extra pieces that are going to be left over. And I'm probably going to do this video in 2 or 3 parts because no one's going to watch this whole thing. But I'm going to put together real quick this, and then I'll do another video of decorating, and then probably another video of nesting the parts. All right, so this over here is the actual box that's going to hold the pet bowls. All right, so right now they're all grouped together, so let's hit our ungroup, and we'll get this is labeled as the top. So let's zoom in and look at that. I'm going to get rid of this because I'm going to put in our holes for our pet bowls. Holding a control and creating our bowl, and I have the pet bowls already. I already have the stainless bowls, and I've taken measurements off of those. So this is information that you'll have to have depending on what you're buying, what you've bought, or what you have. But my pet bowl hole needs to be 4 3/4 inch in diameter. So 4 3/4 inch. And let's lock that. There we go. So we didn't get it locked in time. Try it again, 4.75. Now, there we go. Not lock, unlock. That Jack Daniels will get you, boy. All right, now we go. Now lock it. 475, 475. And we need to put that on our cut path. and we need 2 of them. So with that highlighted, Control D for duplicate, move that over. Now we have 2 holes for our bowls. This internal part of these circles will not be used for any part of this design, and these are 2 pieces that can be used for engraving, making the earrings, and you would do that first before cutting everything out, because when you're cutting the earrings, you're working with really, really small pieces, and they need to be secure, and it's hard to secure those tiny pieces to your work bed if they're already loose. So cut them out first. You could, and then once they fall through, you could even pause it, make sure they're out of your way, and clear them, and then even possibly retrieve them, and then hit continue with your laser to continue the design on this box. But again, wait, I digress. All right, now I need to get these holes for the bowls located within this piece that I'm satisfied with. And I'm looking for an equal distance between the outer edges, and then something that's comparable between here and here. And it's just eyeballing it, what looks good to you. You don't want the holes so close together that once you drop the bowls in that you've got an issue with the bowls touching or rubbing. So you want to leave enough distance between them. And I knew what that was for my design. I've tried this on using that boxy, but I can't remember now what my distance was between them. But we're going to just eyeball it and get them pretty equal and go from there. That's looking pretty good. That's looking pretty good. All right, so first, let's grab the 2 of those. And if you're not familiar in LightBurn, if you start from the left and draw your circle out, there I have all of the first circle enclosed and part of the next one, and even we'll get him part of the frame, the outer part of the top lid there. And by doing it from there, the only thing it's going to grab is that one. But when you come from the left, anything you get even part of, there I don't even have all of anything. That was part of the circle and part of the square, but it got them all. And I like working that from that direction. All right, so doing that, I grab both circles. Now I'm going to make sure that they are on horizontal. There we go, because that one dropped down. Did you see that? Pay attention to this circle. We'll undo. See how it was higher? Redo. Dropped it back down. So that horizontal H center brings your 2 circles together on a horizontal plane. Now that I've got them equally horizontal to each other, group them together. Now with those grouped already, hold the shift and click on your outer frame of this piece and hit your little target bullseye, and that's going to center those 2 within that project, within that piece. If they weren't already, now they are perfectly centered. Now that's all we're going to do with that for now. So in fact, select it all, group it all. That piece is done. That's the top. And if you don't remember that the one with 2 great big holes in it is the top of your pet food holder, you don't need to be watching these videos. We're not going to worry about labels. All right. Let's zoom out. Now, actually, come this time here, because I don't want the bottom, but I want all 4 of those. That time I did come from the left. Got all of those. Now these are my side pieces for this box. These I need to keep intact and don't want to distort them in any way, because those are going to be used as is. Now this bottom piece, the bottom piece we're not going to use except as a pattern, because I need those finger slots to fit in with my lower piece. All right, so we're not going to use that as is, but we're going to use it as a pattern. Now this, no, the wrong button. There we go. This is the lower box that I created, and the only thing we're going to use on this lower box, we're not using the box. Clinkies, we're going to use the bottom. In fact, right now it's all grouped, so let's ungroup it. We'll keep our labels together. We'll group that back for right now. This is the bottom. Actually, we're not going to use the bottom. So I just lied to you. We're not using that bottom, so go away. Hit delete. We're going to use what would be the top of this box. Group it so we don't forget which is which. And we're going to use the left and right of this box. Those are what's going to be the legs of the stand. The front and the back, delete. We don't want those either. All right. So, what have we got left? What are we working with? All right, so the bottom of this box should fit within the top of this box. So, if you select that box first, hit your Shift key, select that box, and tell it to bullseye, boom, it pulls it in. Didn't move the word bottom because I didn't lock those, and that's fine because I don't need it in my way anyway. Now, let's zoom in to that piece. All right. Now, I got to do a couple of things here. I want this piece to be nothing but holes for that box to snap into. So what I need to do, and in this outer piece, I'm also going to do the same thing for it. Let's go over and grab one of our side pieces. Zoom out. All right. All right, so this is one of our side pieces for our upper box, for the box holding the bowls. All right. Now this would normally snap in like so. All right. It's got to go around that perimeter, the outer perimeter of that inner box. All right. So I got to do a couple of things. All right. First off, let's do this. So on my select tool, let's select this box. I've got my dimensions there. In fact, let's put it in millimeters because that's it was 330 and 165. And if I put a square or a rectangle there, selected it, now I want to put 330, 165. I got to unlock. Let's try it again. 330, 165. There we go. Now, that was the dimensions of the original design, 330 millimeters, 165 millimeters. That box is already highlighted. See the little Vegas lights going around? It's telling me that part's selected. Hold your Shift key. Select this inner line here. That's the original piece that was designed on their website. Hit our target, our bullseye. Boom, that brings it in. All right, now, I only want these rectangles, and when this piece, the side piece, is erected and standing on its edge, there will just be holes in this piece for those to drop into. Follow me? If not, you should probably be watching Sesame Street. All right. So now I want to select my first piece, hold Shift, hit my second piece, and go up to my tools. And I don't know how to pronounce this. I don't know if this is Boolean, Boolean. If anybody wants to subscribe to my channel just for the benefit of getting my email and sending me a recorded message saying, hey, stupid, this is how you say it. Do that. But this, you've got all these different types of unions, differences, and intersections. And you have shortcuts for them over here in the sidebar. But I don't never remember which is which and what's going to benefit me the best. So this assistant is my best friend. So by having the assistant pop up, you see I've still got my neon lights, or my Vegas lights going around those two pieces, showing they're both selected. And if I come up here to the union and hit, or just not even hit, just roll over those sections, I don't want that. My slots have gone away. I go over to the next one. I don't want that. That's just the original piece. Don't want that. That's not going to help me in any way whatsoever. But looky there. Boom. There's my slots. Okay? Now we're cooking with Crisco. So, okay, done. Now, that piece, when standing on its edge, will drop right into those slots. Pretty, ain't it? Nice. All right, now, let's get this out of the way. Let's zoom out. Put you back over here where you belong. Now, these pieces are the legs of that box, the stand, I should say, the legs for the stand. And they're going to come over here. Let's rotate it 90 degrees. And it's going to match up like so. Now, I want to do the same thing to these. I want to create slots in that piece for these to snap into so that the legs are supported, the fingers on those legs are supported on four sides and not just glued together. Glass is getting empty. About time for a refill. All right, so I got to do the same thing again, but I want to come larger this time so that I've got more meat around my fingers out there and not something that's going to be prone to getting snapped or broke off. All right, so with that highlighted, let's zoom into that one. All right, with that highlighted, that reminds us of our initial measurements, which was 370 and 205. Yep, 370 and 205. Now, so let's start another rectangle. Hit our select tool. Now we are unlocked, so we can do I don't want 370 and 205. I want to come out, let's say, a half an inch past the fingers on either side in both directions. So an inch is 25.4 millimeters. So first off, let's just do our initial, which was 370 and 205. All right, now that is exactly, in fact, if we do that, it's already got the Vegas lights. I don't know if that's the real term for it, but I've heard it and I like it because it puts you in mind of the lights in downtown Vegas. All right, so hold your shift key, select your other one, hit your targeting your bullseye. Now those have been centered, but you see that if I was to do that, the fingers would be on the perimeter and there'd be nothing for those to snap into. You'd have to just glue them together, and don't want just that. So unselect. Now we'll just select just the perimeter piece. Our dimensions are, the aspect ratio is not locked together. We're going to add about an inch to that. Like I said, it's 25.4 millimeters. We're going to say 25, so 395 millimeters. And 205 is 210, 230. And that's where I want the actual perimeter for that to be. But now we need to create our slots, so we need a second rectangle. Go to our select tool, make that. Now we do need those exact same dimensions again, which was 370 and 205. Vegas light, show it's already selected. Hold your shift key, select that again, hit that targeting bullseye. Now they're together. Oops, I could actually, since they were both done, I could have just left it there. So select our first one, hold shift, and the second one. Go back to our assistant, go to tools, our assistant. Now we look for the one that we want. That's not it. That's not it. Oh, actually, that is it. Because the order that I selected them in, depending on what, in fact, right now I'll show you. Let's just reset. Right now, the one we want is subtract A from B. But the reason it's not always the same is because it matters. A is the inner piece. B is the outer piece. Tools, assistant. That time A from B don't work. B from A works. So it makes a difference on which one you select first, and that's the reason I like the assistant. Because I'm not always thinking, okay, I need to select this one first, that one first. I don't have to worry about that because I open my assistant and it shows me which one I want. All right, so that's what I want. Okay. Now, why are those gray? I don't know why those got on a different tool line, but there we go. Now, that piece is almost ready for cutting. But to cut down on weight, to keep from losing all the material, everything's already separated yet. Nope. Gotta unlock. All right, now get rid of that. To keep from wasting material, I'm going to create another rectangle inside here. And I don't have any dimensions for this one, so I'm just eyeballing it. Hit my select now, I can edit it. And I'm looking just to make sure I've got good beef around those slots, so there's lots of material there, or enough material there for it not to be weak. All right, that looks good to me. Now, when I go into doing all of my design work, this piece would be waste. I don't need this in this project. So this is a piece where I would maybe put in and create my earrings, cut them out first, remove them, and then, but that piece is actually large enough that I wouldn't have to do that. I could just cut that a piece and set it to the side. But some of the other smaller things I'm going to be doing, some of the fine detail, would normally be waste work, but we're going to turn that waste into earrings. So no, I'm not going to do that with this because it's just adding more time to this project. And this is a, how large is this? Select. Oh yeah, that's almost 12 by 5. So that's a large enough piece that we can set aside, might be used on other projects and don't want to use it for earrings. All right, so where are we at with this design process? Let's go out. All right, so these are the legs. Rotate that one 90. So that's going to pop into the side of this. I'm actually going to put designs on here. We're going to take a lot of this material out of here because we don't need all of that. And we're going to do some cosmetic work there. And here is the top part of the pet box. Let's zoom in so you can see what I'm doing. Those are just the labels. I'm getting rid of those. Getting rid of that label. Okay. We're pretty much done with this design of this basic design of the box. We have a $80,000 house here, and we're going to turn this into a $1.5 million house. But that's going to be in the next video. You'll have to come back, subscribe, hit the notifications bell. I'm new to this YouTube channel. I've only been doing this for 40 days now. 40 days. I've never done this LightBurn until about 50 days ago. So I'm learning as I go, and I thought I would share what I'm learning as I go, because there are other people out there who know less than I do. That's hard to believe, but there are. So that's enough for this video. I'm not even sure. I'm sure this is way too long, but thank you for watching up to this point. If you stayed with me till now, be sure subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications bell. I'm going to do another video showing where we fine tune this, do some graphics, do some editing, and start to build those earrings with the pieces that are would normally be waste. So you're going to want to watch that. So thanks again for watching. This has been Hobo for Wood, and we'll see you in the next video.